So yes, I'm just back from Spain in Scotland, and this has nothing to do with any of that. This was meant to be my talk after my conference 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So now I'm finally going to get on with it. In June, I went to the IMA, the Institute of Management Accountants annual conference. I learned a whole lot of really cool stuff for accountants. I thought about a lot of it I could talk about. There were some power pivot tables. I learned some tax updates. I learned some revenue recognition. It was a really hard choice on what to talk to you guys about, but when I looked back, I'm like, that's all pretty boring stuff for you. So instead, while I was there, I was fortunate to do a roundtable discussion with 10 other people, and I thought I would make that into a presentation for here. And I did it on mastering the principles of human relations. Something that probably when you think of accountants, you don't really think about interactions with other people a lot. But I thought it was a really good topic considering that most of the time, like when you guys think of an accountant, what do you think of? It's okay. Boring. Bean counters, passive, cold, personal, introverts. So other than your awesome accounting team, I think the same thing. And honestly, 50% of the people at this conference were probably exactly what you would stereotype them as. So when I was thinking of the topic, like, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to talk to them about? Like, I didn't want to keep it, the standard GAAP regulations, this and that. And I thought, well, this is a conference full of accountants, full of people who manage large teams of people. The accounting department is one department that touches every single department, and you need to know how to interact with people. You get interrupted, you've got a lot going on, and I thought it would be a really good opportunity to do that. So I thought this was a funny cartoon. So how do we become more social and like set ourselves up to interact with other people, not just in the office, but outside the office, and elevate that so that we are more personal with people. So I'm going to talk about 3 fundamental values: become a friendlier person, win people to your way of thinking, and be a leader. A number of you should recognize these, I would hope. It's out of a pretty good book, and I focused my talk on that. So you'll see those. So how do we become a friendlier person? Don't complain, don't criticize people, don't condemn people. It's something everybody's very quick to do it, but nobody enjoys having it done to them. It puts people on the defensive immediately. If you criticize somebody, they're immediately gonna jump and look for an excuse, and it starts off a conversation very badly. It hurts a person's pride. We all have a lot of pride, and we think that we do a really good job. So when somebody comes in and immediately criticizes it, it just makes them feel not very well. So I found a good quote here. I think it was Benjamin Franklin. "I will speak ill of no man and speak all the good I know of everybody." And this is a principle that a number of leaders going back to Abraham Lincoln, everybody has kind of followed by, and I think it's one that everybody should apply in their own life as well. Then give honest and sincere appreciation. Everybody can say, "Oh, you're doing a great job," but when you say it the same way and it's the same thing, like nobody really believes you. They're like, "Oh, there's that jerk telling me I do the same thing right every week." Like, be honest about it. Be sincere. Don't just tell someone they're doing good. Tell them how they're doing good. Make them know that you are noticing the things that they're doing good and you appreciate that, and take the time to do it. You may think it. I think Whitney and my team do a good job all the time, but try to tell them that so that they keep doing a good job. If people feel appreciated, they're going to work harder for you. They're going to do more for you. And then another good quote, Charles Schwab: "The best way to develop the best that is in a person is through appreciation and encouragement." I absolutely agree with that. If you appreciate somebody, you encourage them, they're going to keep doing a really good job, and you get better results. So arouse in the other person an eager want. So think of things from that person's perspective. Step out of your mindset and look at it from that person's perspective, and put others' wants before your own. It's not all about you all the time, although I'd like to think it is. Henry Ford said, if there's any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get to the other person's point of view and see things from that person's point of view angle as well as your own, which, again, another good one, I thought. So the second one is win people to your way of thinking. If you think you're always right, then how do you make somebody else think you're always right? Avoid arguments. I love a good argument. I am the first person, a good argument. And there is a difference between good arguments and bad arguments. And once you know you've lost an argument, just let it go. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Everybody's got an opinion. I have found many things I've learned in life has been because somebody's had a different opinion than mine and made me think, oh, I didn't look at it like that. Maybe I should. And you learn a lot that way. Other people's opinions matter too. And respect it. Never tell somebody you're wrong. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. It doesn't make them right. It doesn't make them wrong. It probably is wrong, but you don't need to tell them that. Yeah. If you're wrong, you're going to admit it as well. So quickly be empathetic about it. Just say, crap, I was wrong. Move on to the next point. No need to discuss it. It takes the guilt and defensiveness out of a conversation and out of the air, and it helps solve any issues by you maybe making a wrong statement, and you're able to then move on to a conversation and get problems solved. So let the other person do a great deal of the talking. If you're trying to get to a point, you repetitively saying the same thing over and over again and not allowing them to talk isn't really going to show them much, and it's also not going to give them the confidence to get out what they're trying to get out and to get a resolution. People talk too much, so and don't interrupt them. People, I think, are quick when somebody says something and you don't agree with it to cut them off, to interrupt. Let them finish, then come in and save your points, save your questions, ask questions rather than make statements. Just kind of keep on the same level with a person. Don't condemn them. Don't criticize them. Keep it one level. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Like everybody's got different opinions. Somebody may be looking at something one way. You may be looking at it a different way. You both should be looking at it a third way. So hopefully by combining the two, you can figure out the best way to look at something and see it from each other's point of view and realize that there may or may not be a different way to see what you're doing. Remember, don't condemn them if they are wrong, but rather just understand why they were thinking the way they did. Why did they think that the situation was like that? They may have a very good reason, and there may be something else going on that you don't know about. Throw down a challenge. Challenge them to something in a good way, not you're wrong, you're right, you prove it. But people love the chance to express themselves and to prove that they're important, so give them a reason to prove their importance and show that they're worth and make them show that. And do it in a good way. Give them a desire to excel at what they're trying to get done. So the final point that I touched on was to be a leader. And to do that, you need to begin with praise and honest appreciation of people, the person you're talking to, the group of people you're talking to, and a honest appreciation. Like I said earlier, anybody can say, oh, you're doing a great job. I've been in places before, somebody walks in the morning, great job yesterday, and then you realize like it just becomes an automated thing and you don't feel appreciated. It's just like, okay, you're doing the same thing over and over again. It's always a more comfortable situation if you have to talk to somebody about them doing something wrong. If you start with something pleasant and then go into, okay, you're doing a great job and you're getting all this stuff done, so let's look at these things we could do better, rather than dive right into you're not doing something right. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. So the word that comes out is but. You're doing a great job, but. That was a great report, but. Don't use the word but. It immediately makes people brace themselves for, criticize and think that they're doing something wrong. So look at other ways. Use the word "and." That was a great report, and next time I would like to see this in it, rather than that was a great report, but you were missing this. So kind of think how you would want to receive that criticism. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Everybody makes mistakes, pretty much everyone. But admitting your own mistakes, even if you've corrected them already, shows that it shows that you're a person as well, and they can connect with you on that level. And it also helps to hear someone else's faults before they start telling you your own, because then you connect with them on that one-to-one level. So I said this as well. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. If you give suggestions instead of telling somebody to do something, maybe you want to see something out of a report, but don't tell them how. Maybe give suggestions on different ways they could get to what you want, and then get the end result out of it. By letting people make their own decisions, it gives a sense of importance and encourages cooperation, rather than somebody saying, I'm just going to do this because they want me to. They want to excel at what they're doing, rather than doing it just for the sake of somebody telling them to. Use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. Everybody makes mistakes, so when it happens, encourage them to do a better job. Encourage them to do harder work. Encourage them to make it right. Praise them for all the good points, and try to keep the bad points minimal. And let the person know you have faith in them regardless. If they do it again, then tell them they're fired. Make the other person happy about doing the thing that you suggest. So if we want somebody to do something and they're unhappy about it, then they may or may not do it. If they are going to do it, they're going to half-ass it. So make them happy that they're doing what you want. Know exactly what it is that you want them to do as well. And when you're doing it, consider the benefits that the person will receive also from doing what it is you suggest. So if it's something work-related, maybe they're going to learn something new and be able to apply it in the future. And if it's something outside of here, maybe it's going to help them be a better person. But just make them happy, and make them believe that what they're doing is a really great thing, and they will give what you want. Those were the key ones I did. My talk was about an hour and a half. It wasn't a talk, it was an interactive sit for about an hour and a half. It was really interesting for me because there was a number of really good questions that people asked. And I always joke about accountants being introverts, but a couple of the people that came in were really introverted and had some really good questions, and really gave me a different look at how people interact. So it was really interesting. But those were the key things that I had touched on with everybody. And I've actually submitted a proposal to present a full hour and a half next year at the conference as well. So that's it.